And welcome back to the True Vine Connection channel. On today, I would like first to thank everyone who is tuning in. I thank you for your time, for watching and supporting what I'm trying to do on this channel. I have a project that I wanted us to work on. In my last video, I did a flip through of my MS or AMAS book, and I had an idea about doing a mini NMAS or a mini inspirational glue book. And this is a composition book, and as you can see, it is quite a lot smaller than the regular sized one. And the regular sized one has 100 sheets. This one has 60 sheets in it. And let me give you reference. Okay, let me find the inches on here. Okay, it is, keep this under here. It is about 5 inches, 4.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So now, the thing about doing this book is this, that it is not done in signatures. The pages are easy to pull out because they're just glued in. This is probably the equivalent of just some black masking tape here. So, but what I did do was I went through and I glued 2 pages together. And I didn't go all the way through the book, but I just went through and glued like 2 pages together throughout the book. And then I went back and then I put washi tape to glue in the seams. Okay. And these pages are kind of thin, so I would suggest that you would glue some of these pages together so that you can make them thicker. The other thing, since this paper is lined, I think we should do something to cover the pages. Now, in my journal, the book that I did the flip through, some of the pages I painted and some of them I didn't before I laid down any type of embellishments or anything like that. So what I think I'm going to do in this book, I think I do want to glue, I want to paint some of the pages. So we're going to get started. I don't want to waste your time and all of that. If you hear any background noise or if anything is shaking, the lighting is not great, I'm just asking you to please be patient with me. I'm just getting started, and if you could just see how I have some of this stuff rigged up so that I can do this, and as we go through, we are going to get better with what we are doing. And so again, I just thank all of you who have been patient. I am rattling some paper, but what I wanted to do was to do this. Usually when I am painting or doing anything, especially in a book, in order to protect the other pages and keep things from seeping through, I generally put a piece of parchment paper, wax paper, or something underneath the work that I am doing. And I'm trying to think, do I want to do a full, let's do this. Let's just do a full spread. Let's do it like that. And under here, I'm going to put this piece of parchment paper over here. Hopefully I'm keeping this in the frame there for you. Alright, so we have that. And just so you know, we are not reinventing the wheel here. I have learned how to do this from some other people like Shimmy Dixon, Cat Hand, and really I learned a lot from Dawn at Let's Make a Mess. And she kind of started out kind of the same way as well as Shimmy Dixon, just using the things that they have on hand, which I'm doing, and hey, making it work. Now what I wanted to show you before we get started actually putting some paint down onto our book, and also let me say this, I know I'm all over the place. This is a tiny little black address book. So this is the challenge. I really wanted to do it in a miniature size, and this is even smaller. And let's measure this one. This one is 3 inches by 2 inches. And we're going to do a spread in here as well. Maybe it probably won't happen in this video, but we will come back and do another spread in there. We're going to enjoy this. We're going to at least once a week try to do something in one of our books, because we got a lot of other projects we're going to be working on, but we're going to start here. Okay, I pulled this out just to show you something. Back here, this is just a piece of copy paper, quote unquote resume paper, and I did painted acrylic paint background, and then I used some other paper that I painted pink, and I wrote these words on, and then I glued them down to this paper, and then I went over this with some Mod Podge. And I love the texture and the feel. I like the way that it looks. So I'm thinking about doing something like that. Now, one of the other things that I do is once I paint, you can add things like image. And I'm going to tell you about how I did these images here. You can add that, you know, make your background and add things like that. Pieces that you have cut out from other places. Stickers. Here are some scraps of paper, and I have plenty of those. And obviously, since we're working in a smaller space, everything that you use is going to have to be tiny. Also, something else that I do, I have, and I'm about to show this to you here. I have this basket here full of things that I cut off from junk mail, out of magazines, from all kinds of labels and all kinds of things. And I have also pulled out some words. I just got a handful of words and different statements and I put them in this little Ziploc bag. And I have another nice little pile over here to the side. And we're going to use some of these things, and we're just going to do like I typically do. I just pull something out randomly, and then I see if I can put it together and make something nice. Okay, so for background, and I'm shaking this up, this is some Deco Arts Crafters acrylic paint that we're going to use, and this is in the antique gold. I just pulled out some paint for background. I didn't want to get real fussy with it, so I have a little palette over here that I'm going to put that paint in. Let me put a little extra. And I didn't even pay attention to what I was pulling out. I just grabbed two paints, and one happened to be silver and the other one is gold. So that's what we'll be using today, silver and gold. I have my water over here to my left side, and some other things that we are going to use. And I have my paint brushes as well. And I'm going to use this wider one to put some paint down. Now you can use, sorry about the noise. You can use watercolors, which I like these. These colors are very brilliant colors. This one is by Basic, and it has 16 paints in it. And this other one, 16 as well. And this one was by Rose Art or some brand, but anyway, nothing expensive. Or you can use magic markers, and I got these on clearance at Dollar General. Anything that I'm using is basically something I got off clearance or extremely inexpensive. Now the only thing with using I want to say this before I get to this. When we paint with any paints, always have two things of water. Two things of water for washing off your brushes. One of them for light colors and the other one for dark. And in this case, you know, I just want to make sure that I'm not muddying up my my water so that those colors don't bleed into my other work. Okay, about to get started, and I'm going to start out with this gold, and I know I'm going right over my washi tape, and that's okay. I'm good with it. What I wanted to say is that, and I'm going to put a good coat down, is that when you decide what type of paint or medium that you want to use to do your background with, something that you should consider is that if you plan to add anything like glue and anything else that you add, sometimes will cause whatever you've put down onto your paper, your paint, whether it's paint, pencil, marker, or whatever, other products might cause that to bleed or move around. So you have to consider that when you decide what you are going to use for your background. One thing that you can do, and this is something that I do, I sometimes I'll go right ahead and put down some Mod Podge or something to seal it. Or I will, and I learned this from Shimmy Dixon, is to use hairspray, just regular hairspray. Obviously, you don't want anything with oil in it, and better to use one that's in a can than to use one that's in a pump. And you don't spray right on top of, hold your art piece kind of a good distance away and spray it with the hairspray, and it will help set your paint so that whatever else you put on top of it won't move, cause the bottom layer of paint to move. And also, the other thing is this, when we use Mod Podge or things like that to help seal and our artwork and to give it a nice finished look, sometimes these become kind of sticky or tacky. When you use the hairspray, it kind of keeps things from being sticky and tacky, but you got to let whatever you put down, let it dry first, then put the hairspray on it, and let the hairspray dry before you do anything else. And you can also spray it over the Mod Podge, but you have to let the Mod Podge dry first as well. Alrighty, and something else to know: if you put down matte Mod Podge onto your item, anything that you put on top of it will be matted as well. So sometimes I'll mix a little bit of the two together if I don't want a real shiny surface. So just something to think about. So I wanted to let this dry a little bit, and then, and I don't know how great this is going to look, but we are about to see, and I am cleaning my brush off. I'm going to go into this silver, and I might be making a mess. Hopefully not. We are about to see, and I'm going to, you know what? Let me use something else. I am going to use, I have this little piece of sponge here, and I'm going to use it in my silver. So we'll see how that works. Kind of muddy, but it'll be okay. I guess I could have picked better colors, but I just wanted to just pick a couple of colors right quick. I am going to take a piece of plastic or something to cover my, I have two palettes here, so I'll just put one palette over the other one to try to keep my paint from drying out right away. Okay, so while that is drying, we are going to go into, and push this over here to the side and let it dry some. We are going to go into our little bag of words, and I'm not going to look. I'm just going to pull some things out of here. Then I'm going to, I have my scissors here, cut off one of these. And I'll take that and what else? Okay. I want to show you something else. This card that I have here, the same way that I'm going to do today in this book and just come up with something inspirational based on these random pieces that I pulled from here. We're going to find a way to try to make some of this stuff work together. It's the way I did this. I just pulled out, painted a background. This is a index card. Painted the background, put down another piece of, I think this is wrapping paper or something from a gift bag. I glued that down. I just pulled out of these containers, didn't pay attention to what it was. Some words, was a handful of them, and from those words I could pull out something that made sense. Don't crack under pressure. And then I went over it with a magic marker. This was kind of a fail because I kind of messed up a little bit, but I did a whole ton of these. This has Mod Podge around here. I went around the edges with gold markers, permanent markers to help highlight some things. And anyway, so just kind of showing you a little bit of what it is that we're trying to do here. Okay, so let's see what we have here. And let's see what we can come up with. All right, we have a little lady. We have just add, coming to specialty matter. I'm sorry, personality matters. Neighborhood for text. Make. We have my name is in this. Okay, let me see what else we got here. We have a lot of things. Okay. Okay. Let me see what else. We have so many things up here. All right. Don't have enough room to put all of these things on. Okay. So here are some of our words. I'm going to take this light bulb out for a minute. Bulb head. Okay. And so far, I think I like the lady, so I will keep her. And I want the paint just add, and let's see, I want to keep personality matters and beautiful naturally. I'm thinking about you. Are you eligible? So, okay. Let's move the rest of this out of our way. And if we need it, we will bring it back. So, let's look at our book here. And it's still a little wet, just a little damp. But let's see how we can put our words together. Let me move this over here. Okay, so we have a lady, and we can say that she is beautiful naturally. Let's see. Just add paint. Okay, so we can say this. Are you eligible? Then you can put sure. Now this just add paint part, I don't know how. I have an idea, and I might have to write something in there. Okay, so here we have, are you eligible? Sure. And then I know what we need. A question mark. And then we can say just add paint. Nope. Beautiful. Personality matters. Beautiful naturally. Okay, I'm good with this. And we'll work on it from there. Okay, so let's pull these out and put this back in. And I am going to find some glue. We're going to just use some Mod Podge. So let's lay our pieces in. And we have this little lady here. And she's asking, are you eligible? Sure. Let's trim some of this up, though, because we don't want it looking just any type of way. Okay, are you eligible? Sure. And we can trim this up some as well. Take that off. Okay. Okay, we can leave it like this. I'm not going to put that, I don't know if we're going to add these two or not. I'm going to put them over here to the side for right now. Alrighty, I am going to I'm trying to find something that I want to use to put I'll put my Mod Podge over here on this little thing here. Okay, this is matte. Also, when you are using Mod Podge, two things, excuse me, make sure that you use a brush that will rinse out of easily and get it into some water quickly. For me, I use the brushes that come in these little paint sets. So, excuse me, my throat is dry, and I am going to have some water. Okay, let's get back to this, and I'm going to put this Mod Podge on the back of our lady here. Okay. So we have her down, and I use a old credit card to help secure whatever I'm putting down. That. And you know what? I remember, where is the piece that had my name on it? Here we go. Let's use this. And so she's asking, I can say she's asking me a question. Okay. Now I know this really sound very arrogant that I'm using my name in here. Because it's saying naturally beautiful, but okay, I think I get by. Okay, Kimberly, are you eligible? Yes, I'm eligible. 4. Alrighty. If I can lay it down here. And we're going to help this out some with some punctuation. And if I don't get my punctuation right, please don't get me. Okay. And then we're going to say, oops, sure. So we have to find a question mark. And if I'm sure we can find one somewhere, but I'm not going to prolong this video trying to find it. You know, so I want to put a question mark there and then an exclamation point. Okay. So, let's see here. I wish that I had one more. One more word. Now, that's the whole thing about when you just randomly are pulling out stuff. So it's going to be what it is. We shall put down personality matters. I guess I really could have just put this one down onto the paper, but by this still being a little damp, this paint. Okay. So, Kimberly, are you eligible? That's a question mark. Exclamation point, yes. And we need to know that personality matters. Okay? Okay, you know, we can still do this. Just add paint. We don't really have to, I wear makeup, not a lot. I don't want to, but it's okay to be who you are. And so, if you wear makeup, great. If you don't, that's okay too. I'm trying to think, do I want to add that? Okay, we'll add it because we're trying to say something. Okay, and we'll make our punctuation reflect that we are trying to make a statement. Okay. Well, what our statement is that we're trying to make. Let's say that. I hope that everyone is doing as well as can be expected under whatever circumstances you have going on in your life. I also want to just say that I really appreciate, again, everyone who tunes in and watches my videos. I know that you could be doing something else or watching someone else, and I just appreciate you. I hope that something that is said and or done on this channel inspires you, motivates you, helps you. My endeavor with this channel is to be of some comfort, some help, somewhat to entertain, but also um, this is part of my purpose. And in another video, I'm going to talk about purpose, and this is this is actually part of my ministry. And I know that there are a lot of people who are lonely, people who feel like they are left out or left behind. They don't really have family or friends. Sometimes some people are sick or shut in and they're not able to get out and to socialize and to be with other people. And they want to be with other people and to do things, but for whatever reason aren't able. And we're going to talk more about that in some other videos. But my goal and my purpose is to help us stay connected to our families, to our friends, to our communities, to stay connected to one another, but as I always say, most of all, to stay connected to God. And I am looking for something, and I have to get up for 1 second. I'll be right back. And I am right back. I just stepped away for a moment. I had to go get this jar. In this jar that I have here, I have punctuate. I have so much stuff. What I actually am looking for right now is I am looking for where I put my punctuation marks. Sorry for the bag rattling, but I'm looking for these different things here. Okay, let's see if we have some punctuation marks in any of this. And I'm going to put them right here so we can look through them. But as I was saying, it's paper bead. I have a senior adult mentoring program, and part of what we do is to make sure that, because so many people go through a lot of different changes in life, and I don't see any punctuation marks here, and a lot of times the changes that we go through in life as we age, especially things like health issues, sometimes our financial situations change, our living situations change, and it's hard to make adjustments. Sometimes we retire and we think that when we're so used to working, and then now we're retired, and the things that we used to do, we're not involved with. The same people we're not involved with. Our lives are just not as active. And some people become displaced. They feel displaced because for a lot of people, working was their out. How they got out and was out in and about in the world. And once that ends, once work ends, then they don't feel that they really have a lot left going on in life. I am going to right here put the question mark. I should have left more space. I didn't, so, and it's stuck down now. Okay, Kimberly, are you eligible? Question mark. sure. And then we'll put an exclamation point there. Mark, point, oops, sticking. And that's background here is almost the same color as that, but okay. Okay, so she's saying, Kimberly, are you eligible? And then we said, sure. Just add paint. And then we're going to say, oh, you know what? I could spell out no. I'm going to have a huge mess later. I need an N and an O. If I can find it. I gotta find it. Well, there's an N. Well, maybe we can go to a smaller N. And now we need an O. Well, I'm going to go with what I can find so I don't burn up a lot of time looking through these letters. Okay, so we'll just go with these two. Let's trim them up a little bit. As I was saying that when life changes happen, then sometimes we end up feeling displaced. Sometimes health challenges happen and we're not able to get out and participate in life like we once did. I'm going to cut the center out of this. And people become depressed. Some people become, if to be homebound or to not to be able to get out in the world and to function like you once did.